Assalamu alaikum dear students. I hope you are well by the grace of Allah with your friends and families. Welcome to our today's online class. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. This is Sifat Ferdowsi Shaun, lecturer, Department of Biology, Milestone College, Uttara, Dhaka. Today I will discuss about some topics from Chapter 2, that is cells and tissues of organism. So dear students, let's start our today's online class. We will learn from our today's lesson. First of all, what is cell, types of cell, differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, differences between somatic cell and gametic cell, structure and function of cell wall, what is protoplasm, what is plasma lemma, number 8, what is cytoplasm, why mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell, and then the structure and function of mitochondria. First of all, we should know about the cell. What is cell? Cell is the structural unit of an organism. Some scientists described a living cell as the unit of structure and biological function of an organism. In 1969, Loy and Sikevich described a cell surrounded by a selectively permeable membrane as the unit of living activity which can exactly duplicate itself without any different living medium. And then the types of cell. On the basis of the organization of the nucleus, cells can be divided into two types, prokaryotic cell and another one is eukaryotic cell. And then prokaryotic cell. Pro means actually primitive and karyon means nucleus. So prokaryotic means primitive types of nucleus is present in prokaryotic cells. So let's see what's the definition. Actually, a prokaryotic cell does not contain a true nucleus. This is why it is called a cell with a primitive type of nucleus. The term nucleotide fits nicely in this case. Nuclear materials in a prokaryotic cell are not surrounded by nuclear membrane. Though the cell organelles such as mitochondria, plastids, ear, that is endoplasmic reticulum, etc. are not found in a prokaryotic cell, ribosomes are present in it. And then the example of prokaryotic cell, blue-green algae, bacteria are constitute of this type of cell. And now eukaryotic cell. In this type of cell, the nucleus is well structured, meaning that nuclei are well organized and surrounded by nuclear membrane. Other cell organelles along with ribosome are present. Chromosomes consist of DNA, histone, protein and other components. Most living cells are of these types. And then now, on the basis of function, there are two types of cells, that is somatic cell and another one is gametic cell. So somatic cell actually body cell. This type of cell take part in the composition of the body of an organism. Somatic cells divide through the process of binary fission and the mitotic division. Organisms grow in this way. Moreover, these cells take part in the organization of different organs and organ system. And then gametic cell. Gametic cells are produced in the organisms in which sexual reproduction and alternation of generation occur. Primordial germ cells divide through meiotic division, that is meiosis solution, and produce gametic cell. In a gametic cell, the number of chromosomes becomes half that of its somatic type. So until now, you can find the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell and the somatic cell and gametic cell in your exam. Difference between prokaryotic cell and difference between somatic cells and gametic cell as a comprehensive based, you can find this question. And now the zygote. This is the very important knowledge based question for you. A new living body is commenced after the fusion of male and female gametes. Zygote is the first cell produced after the union of male and female gametic cells. Zygote undergoes repeated mitotic division to organize the body of an organism. Here some differences between the somatic cell and gametic cell. So, somatic cell, that is body cells, skin, liver, eyeballs, all the things like brain, blood vessels, skeletal muscles, bone marrow, primordial, liver, heart, skin, all the cells are actually somatic cell. And here you can see this is the egg or sperm. DNA here get passed on to your kids or our kids, that is sperm and that is ovum. These two cells are actually called gametic cell and other cells are called somatic cell. Here another differences like body cells actually diploid and the gamete cells, they are actually haploid, that is body cells. Body cells contains 2 copies of each chromosome. Each chromosome, 2 copies of each chromosome, and in a gametic cell is actually 6 cells and contain 1 copy of each chromosome. And then that is 46 chromosome, that is 44 is autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes reproduced through mitosis. And in the gametic cell 23 chromosomes, 22 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome and reproduced through meiosis. So, this is the differences between the somatic cell and gametic cell. Now, I will show you a typical plant cell. We know that the structural and functional unit of organism is called cell. We know that the organisms like plant and animals have different types of cell. Some differences also present in the plant cell and animal cell. So, in this figure I draw a plant cell and I will tell you about the differences between plant cell and animal cell. Let's see the picture of a plant cell. And plant cell have some organelles and I will show you also that. And first of all, a plant cell have a cell wall. This cell wall is the unique characteristics of plants, that is cell wall is not present in animal cell. So, this is the one main differences. So, plant cell have cell wall and animal cell does not have any cell wall. And then this is the cell membrane and then this is the cell membrane and then this is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. When endoplasmic reticulum does not have any types of ribosome, then it's called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Here you can see this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Why this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum? Because of endoplasmic reticulum, when endoplasmic reticulum have some ribosome in their wall and started with the endoplasmic reticulum, this type of endoplasmic reticulum is actually called the rough endoplasmic reticulum. And then we can say that this is the mitochondria and this is the very important organelle in a animal cell and plant cell both, and mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. And then this large vacuole, you can see this large vacuole is called the cell vacuole. And then we can see this is the chloroplast and this is the very important organelle in the plant cell. This chloroplast does not present in animal cells. For this presence of chloroplast, plant cells produce their own food and animal cell does not produce their own food because of the chloroplast. So this is the chloroplast and this is the Golgi body and this is the lysosome and this is the ribosome, and ribosome is called the protein factory of the cell, and ribosome also present in animal cell and both plant cell. And now I will go for this part. This part is a very important, and this part is called, all the parts are accumulately is called nucleus, and this is the nuclear membrane, and this pore like structure is called nuclear pore, and then this type of cytoplasm, the jelly like substances, is called nucleoplasm, and then this reticulum, and this reticulum is called chromatin reticulum or chromatin material, and this black like hole like structure, this black structure is called nucleolus, and all the parts accumulately is called the nucleus. So nuclear membrane, nuclear pore, nucleoplasm, chromatin reticulum, nucleus, all things are accumulated and these are called nucleus. So this is the figure of a typical plant cell. I hope you understand the what is the organelle of a plant cell. In the animal cell, cell wall does not present, and also a chloroplast does not present, and the cell vacuole in animal cell, cell vacuole is very small, but in plant cell vacuole is too large. Now I will describe about cell wall. This is the unique characteristics of a plant cell. It is composed of inert materials. The chemical composition of a cell wall is complex. Cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, pectin, superin are the chemical components of a plant cell wall. Bacterial cell wall is composed of protein, lipid and polysaccharide, and the fungal cell wall is made up of chitin that we actually read in the first chapter. The fungi cell wall is made up of chitin, and here you can see this is the picture of a plant cell wall. This is the middle lamella, and this is the primary cell wall, and this is the plasma membrane, or we can say that this is the cell membrane, and here some chemical components of cell wall, that is pectin, cellulose, microfibrils. Here you can see it's actually we'll read these details in the higher class. And the primary cell wall is single layered. This primary cell wall actually is single layered. The secondary cell wall gradually develops through the compilation of different chemical substances secreted from the protoplasm on the middle lamella, and this is the middle lamellum. At the time of the development of the secondary cell wall, cavities are formed, and this is called pits. What is pits? It actually comes in your exam as a knowledge based question. Here you can see this is the pit. Now the function of cell wall. Pits give a cell its rigidity, and the cell wall retains the shape and size of a cell, and then plasmodesmata are formed in the cell wall to exchange materials with adjacent cells. The cell wall controls the movement of water and minerals. There is no cell wall around the animal cell. Now we will go for protoplasm. The translucent semi-fluid viscous substance that constitutes the interior matter of a living cell is called protoplasm. Everything surrounded by the cell wall is protoplasm. Even plasmalemma is a part of it. Protoplasm also contains cytoplasmic organelles and nucleus. And then I will go for plasmalemma. The double-layered membrane around the protoplasm of a cell is called cell membrane or plasmalemma. The foldings of a cell membrane are called microvilli. Because it is selectively permeable membrane, the membrane can control the movement of water and minerals through the process of osmosis, and the separates a cell from is the neighboring cell. We know that what is osmosis actually. And then what is cytoplasm? The semi-fluid jelly-like substances of a cell that is external to the nuclear membrane and internal to the cellular membrane is called the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm contains many organelles. These organelles are as follows: membrane-bound organelles and non-membranous organelles. I will show you how to draw a mitochondria, and I have also described about mitochondria. We know that the cell organelles actually two types, that is membrane bounded organelle and another one is non-membranous organelle. So mitochondria is the membrane bounded organelle. Let's start the draw, and you also draw with me. So mitochondria have actually two layers. One is outer membrane and another is inner membrane. So this is the outer membrane, and this outer membrane is smooth, and then inner membrane. And then now I will draw the inner membrane of mitochondria. So this is the outer membrane and that is the smooth outer membrane, and this is the inner membrane. So inner membrane, this is the inner membrane. Outer membrane is smooth and inner membrane have some foldings. You can see these types of foldings, and these foldings is called cristae. So the mitochondria have double layered membrane that is made by phospholipid and protein. So outer membrane and inner membrane is composed of phospholipid and protein, and the inner membrane has some foldings, and these foldings is called cristae. And in this cristae some small bounded round like structure also present. In this cristae some small rounded like structure is also present. Here I draw the small body or small rounded like structure, and this small rounded body structure is called oxysome, and this is the space into the inner membrane, and this space is called matrix. So this is the structure of mitochondria. So now I write down this is the structure of mitochondria. So mitochondria have two layer or double layer membrane, and that is phospholipid and protein made by phospholipid and proteins. Outer membranes are actually smooth, and the inner membrane have some foldings, and these foldings are called cristae, and cristae have some round body like structure. This round body like structure is called oxysome, and this space between the inner membrane is called matrix. Carl Benda in 1998 first coined the term mitochondria. Play a very important role in cellular respiration. We know that the mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell. Why this is called the powerhouse of the cell? We know that our body, that is plant body and animal body, both required some energy, and this energy is produced from the mitochondria. How it is actually happened? We know that the cellular respiration held in the organism, and this cellular respiration have 4 stages, that is glycolysis, acetyl-CoA, Krebs cycle and electron transport system. So you will later in the next chapter in details about respiration. So respiration have 4 stages. First 2 stages actually occurred in the cytoplasm, but the last 2 stages, that is Krebs cycle and electron transport system, occurred in the mitochondria. But in the Krebs cycle, most of the energy are produced in the Krebs cycle. That's why, and we know that the Krebs cycle and electron transport system occurred in the mitochondria. That's why mitochondria is called powerhouse of the. I hope you can understand the structure of mitochondria and the function of mitochondria. Now it's time for homework. Your homework will be structure and function of mitochondria with identifying figure. Please submit your homework in your respective subject-wise homework group, and if you have any query, please ask your. So dear students, I hope you all enjoyed our today's online class. Thank you for being with me. Stay home and stay safe. Take care. Allah Hafiz.